You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, I have got your early edition spoilers for the week of March 24th through the 28th. We are going to see Jack Brennan, Murderous, Sonny, Enraged, and Alexis, Stunned. If you are not following us, please reach down and click that subscribe button. As we always do on early edition day, we're going to start with what is coming the rest of this week to set up the spoilers for next week. So on Wednesday, March 19th, we have got Sonny getting horrible news, and I'm pretty sure it is that his ex-wife Carly is in the hospital suffering from polonium poisoning. Thankfully, they have a cure for it. There's not a cure in real life. It's just kind of odd. I know they used polonium poisoning back in the day. Luke had it and Jerry Jacks had it, but that kills people in real life. The Russians have used it to murder people, and you die of radiation. It's not like you're exposed and then you collapsed. So the whole thing is weird that they use that when the medical stuff is off about it. At any rate, Brennan is enraged. He knows that Valentin did this and he wants him to pay. He leaves Carly in the ER, even though she wants to know where he's going. And Jack's going to tell her to make sure it never happens again. Maybe he's going to pile even more WSB agents on this kill order to hunt down Valentin and just take him out. Speaking of him, Laura gets a visit from Valentin, and he wants to warn her that she needs to know who and what she's up against. Now, Valentin may be trying to protect Charlotte or get access to Charlotte again since she's staying at Laura's place, or he might be pushing these false statements he has been making about Jack to try and sell her on it. Meanwhile, Anna finds out something terrible. And that may be that Valentin did the poisoning. And thankfully, she had Robin Scorpio helping out Isaiah to stabilize Carly until they got the cure synthesized. Nina proposes something to Willow. Maybe she's going to offer to buy her a house because Nina tells her daughter that she should really reconsider moving in with Drew. But judging by the look on Willow's face tomorrow, I don't think her mom's going to get that far. Tracy shows up over at Drew's place to taunt him and let him know that if it's a game of wits, he will lose to her every time. She got his lawyer, Martin, hauled off in handcuffs unless somehow that gets stopped, because Laura does try to reason with someone on Wednesday, and that might be Valentin or it might be Tracy, because Laura's not happy that she had her brother Martin arrested. Meanwhile, Sonny tells Jason to make sure Brennan finishes the job. And maybe he's talking about making sure that Jack takes care of Valentin so they don't have to. And I wonder if Sonny buys Val's story that Jack was the one who ordered him to tamper with his meds. And if you remember, Jason talked to the pharmacist and then got him out of town. So I wonder if maybe Jason has some more info. Thursday, March 20th, we have Lulu completely in shock, and it may be about Carly being poisoned. It may be that Valentin was in town and showed up to see her mom, or that she's heard that Carly was poisoned and Valentin did it. There's lots of things for Lulu to be potentially shocked about. Sonny also catches up with Laura, and I'm sure Valentin is going to be the hot topic of discussion. It's going to be a whole lot of Valentin the rest of this week. Meanwhile, Anna is very insistent and puts her foot down about something. And again, maybe about Valentin. Brooklyn completely loses her temper with her mother. And now that Chase knows about Dante, things are shifting. And I just wonder if Lois is going to finally let her know that she knows more about her son and his whereabouts. Jason issues a warning to someone, and maybe he's telling Jack Brennan to stay away from Carly, which he's not going to do. Also on Friday, March 21st, we have got Lucky and Elizabeth talking about their future specifically about their future together as a couple. They were getting hot and heavy the other night, and they kept getting interrupted. Rick was the last one to interrupt them, and I wonder if they're going to tap the brakes or fast forward, and she asks him to move in. Meanwhile, Ava gets an update from Portia, and obviously it's about the Drew issue, his increased blackmail, and now her having to do a smiling press conference with the guy. And Alexis gets a surprise visitor, and maybe it's Valentin on his tour of people in Port Charles that he's stopping by to see. And it looks like Drew may get a new alliance. I'm guessing it's going to be with some villain, maybe Sidwell, maybe Selena Wu, maybe even Valentin. I would not bet on Drew saying no to anybody, no matter how dirty they are. Meanwhile, Nina has more doubts, and this is probably about the Willow and Drew issue. Going into the week of March 24th through the 28th, Valentin, of course, has been playing with fire, lying about Jack being the one ordering him to tamper with Sonny's medication. Unless General Hospital is doing a retcon, which is a rewrite, as you know. If you remember, Valentin told Jack when he got into the Pentonville prison van that day, this was while Jack was still a prisoner, and Valentin told Jack about the meds because Jack was saying we need to get him out of the way. And Valentin said he had this slow plot going. He was messing with Sonny's meds and was going to wait until he fell apart. That was around the same time that they made a move to try and kill Jason at the warehouse. But it was not Jack at all that had made that order. Jack was surprised to learn about it. And speaking of the WSB chief, he seems to have fallen hard for Carly. In a recent interview, Chris McKenna said Carly is the love of Jack's life. And that makes Val's accusations against him to Sonny a really big issue. But I kind of doubt Carly will doubt Jack. I think she will side with him, and it's not like Sonny's never put her life at risk before. And as for Valentin, even more now that Carly almost died with poison intended for him, Jack is out for his blood, as Chris McKenna confirmed in that same interview. Elizabeth and Lucky are heading for a full-on reunion. Hopefully Rick stays out of the way and sticks with Ava. Nina's worried what's going to happen if Will keeps pushing forward with Drew. It may feel like it's the point of no return, because once he gets Willow into his house, that's it. So is Nina so desperate and with Carly out of commission that Nina finally tells her big, dirty Drew sex secret to Willow? Long overdue. Look for Lucas's hot new man of mystery, Marco, to pop up in Port Charles, likely to see his mom, Natalia. And of course, Brad's going to be upset when they're back to Port Charles when Marco shows up because, of course, Brad was spying and saw Lucas, who he thought moved on pretty fast since they had argued. And then, as far as Brad knows, Lucas spent the night with him. And of course, Gio doesn't know he's adopted, and BLQ has refused to come clean unless the kid comes looking for them. So I suspect he may overhear Lois and Gloria and figure some of these things out for himself.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.